Podfix.
Guest on the bench.
Secret snack.
Mako Mermaids.
And I'm still writing, even in quarantine. Looking like a true survivor, acting like a real bench lean. And I'm still writing after all this time. I'm still writing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting on the bench. Writing's really hard. We need another snack. And that is just a fact. Oh.
Hi, this is Shauna.
And this is Trisha.
And this is Two Girls on a Bench.
The podcast.
We write on the bench.
We snack on the bench.
And most of all, we
Procrastinate
on
the bench.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do. Not this week, baby. It's been a busy week with live stream for The Cure, man.
This bench has been on fire.
This bench is on fire. So, yeah, we had a great time. Thank you for everybody that tuned in and donated, especially today is the last day. And I know when this is out, it'll be over, but we've already reached like $11,000.
Amazing.
Which is over the 10K goal.
Nick.
So we're hoping.
Or as Trisha calls him, Nikki.
As
his grandmother character that she created.
I'm his grandma now. So, yeah, and it's been a blast.
We had so much fun. We made a salsa salad with Nick live.
You guys can catch it. Like, they're going to repost things on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, so you'll be able to catch it if you missed it. But it was really fun, and now we've upped the ante. We have to make a live snack every year now. This is the second year in a row we've made a live snack.
There was a lot of talk of Instapot.
Yes.
Which terrifies me.
But I
must do it.
It'll be fun.
And Nikki's going to get one from his grandma for Christmas.
Nikki's
or they're going to live stream for the Instapot.
Grandma's be like, Nikki, what can I get you for Christmas? He's going to be like an Instapot grandma. I sound just like Nick right now.
Yeah, and also like his grandma, apparently, who we've never met.
This is Nick from Epic Film Guys, by the way. Epic Film Guys.
We just talk about everybody, you know, because we're like famous.
You know him. Yeah.
Like you know him. I'm
all Madonna.
It's just me and, you know,
Nick.
Will Smith. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
And no, it's Jamie Foxx because he lives in the area.
He actually does live. Yeah. My son has a picture with him.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
I know. You should have given him our card.
Just us and Tina.
Can you just give
Faye? Just kidding. She lives in New York. She's not here.
Okay. Damn it.
All right. So anyway, whatever. Bye. Okay. So we have a quote to start us off that's about writing because that's what this podcast is about.
That's right.
When it's not about snacks and everything else. Okay. Here's the quote. Write as though nobody's watching because nobody's watching. Dan Brown.
You could add during quarantine at the end of that very easily.
I love that so much.
It's true.
Because it's like, what do we think? Like, everyone's like,
judging.
That's not good. It's like, nobody cares. Like, nobody's watching you write. Like, just do your shit, get it done, and, like, shut up. You know?
Love it.
And Dan Brown's written, like, a bajillion books.
Yes.
He's one of those prolific writers that's, like, so what's his big one? Angels and Demons. That's not the big one.
No, the
big
Da Vinci
big one.
Code.
Da Vinci Code.
Thank you.
I'm like, Angels and Demons is
I was like
before
Jurassic Park, and then I'm like, no,
that's not him.
I know. And then
You're all Dan Brown. You wrote Jurassic Park.
I pulled out Da Vinci Code out of my ass.
Thank you. You did
you're
good.
welcome.
Because I like.
I like those movies. I haven't read the books, but I like the movies.
You didn't read the books? Really?
No, I didn't read Da Vinci Code.
How did I read them?
I don't know.
I feel like my sister-in-law or somebody gave me like Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code.
You know what? Actually,
and they're pretty effed up. They're good.
I'm pretty sure
really
I might have read Angels and Demons on a plane trip. Like got the book at the store, the
like
airport.
had like a paperback.
Yeah. But I don't remember reading the Da Vinci Code. I just remember watching it.
It's like Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Oh. No, it's a good movie. I like the movie.
A lot of fun. Not fun. That's maybe not the right word.
But it's like interesting because it's grounded in some real conspiracy theories, which make a lot of fucking sense,
and which make all of us that like that shit get like really excited.
Yes,
you know, you're like, whoa,
100%.
You know, you're like crazy priests whipping themselves. Like,
no,
this
I love
guy
it.
Is like
because there's a lot of history in everything he writes, which is what makes it feel so real, and possibly some of it is the Illuminati, all of that stuff. It's very interesting.
And I don't want to know, but I do want to know.
We don't know what we don't know.
I just want to read fiction about it because that makes me happy. And then I listen to some podcasts about it too, so then that's good. Last night I was watching this show called Colts and something. And
Colts and something. I love that show.
Colts and stuff. No, it was like I can't. Maybe it's like Colts and Extreme Religion. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's really good. And like they were just going through different stuff. And Children of God, or the Family International, as it's called now, is a really big cult that's been around for a long time, and it's super fucked up. And I was just like, and I've listened to things and heard things, and I've just like, I follow a lot of this stuff, and so it was just another interesting thing to help me drift off to sleep at night. Hey, there's some fucked up shit.
I've been reading.
Good night.
I bought my husband Elton John's biography for Christmas, but he hasn't read it, and so I've been trying to get off screen time, as you know. And so I've been trying to read his book at night, and it's so funny. Like in my head, I have to do an English accent, but I'm really bad at it. But like it's written in his accent, like the way he talks.
So when you read it in your mind, is it your English accent?
It's my English accent.
Really? You can't do his
English
accent?
No, it's his English accent in my mind. But I'll try and say something out loud, and I'm like, that's not right.
So if everybody's in, we can do like an audiobook of Trisha reading it in an English accent, and that could maybe make us all the money that we need
excerpt
to get us through.
Quite a few people who donated, like Stephanie Hammerwold was like, the best gift we could ever give her are more of my accents, she wrote us.
Oh, and we didn't. Okay, so here's the thing, folks. Like, we couldn't see the chat because we don't. I don't know. We don't know how to do all of the text
it wasn't
stuff.
Our fault because other people who were on the live stream later couldn't see the chat.
When you're on the live stream, it's like you see the person and you see something else and you can't see the chat. So we never knew what was going on in the chat.
I should have had it on my phone.
We should have been looking at it. And so now we know for next year. But like, so we're sorry if we missed comments because they would tell us some of them and then some of them we didn't know. So
I went back and read them all.
Thank you so much for everybody that gave.
But I had like 3 bottles of wine at that point.
Trisha's going to have to do some accents later.
I do.
Maybe now.
I owe everybody a little bit of accent. That was Cockney.
So I said this last week, but I watched Waiting for Guffman, and there's a part at the end where he's like, no, there's a part at the end where he's like, I'm going to be in like, My Fair Lady, and I have to learn about the English accent, the Cockney accent. And he's all, and I just be like, L-R-O. And for like a day, and then randomly just by myself, I walk around my house and I'm like, L-R-O. And
that sounds like me.
It was like horrible and hilarious, and I love him. Anyway, okay.
That's awesome.
Sorry. Thank you,
I love it so much.
Yeah, so I was going to say something else. Oh, I know. Okay, so side cult chat on the bench or whatever.
Side cult chat.
It's always on my mind. So I was telling Trisha, I don't think I've said this in the podcast, but sometimes I don't know if it's like live or real, or if I told you, or I said it in my head.
Or you texted me, or we talked about it on the phone.
Like, I'm not sure.
It's very confusing.
Everything's blending together.
We keep saying we were together yesterday, but we weren't.
All the days with it, you know how this is with quarantine, everybody. Like, every day feels like 100 years. So you're like, it was like last week, and it was like 4 months ago, or it was yesterday. Like, you're not even sure. So I was telling Trisha that, like, so my audiobook fascination has been learning everything I can about the FLDS cult, which is the fundamentalist Latter-day Saint. So not the regular Latter-day Saints. You guys are great. They always help out with all the charities I work in. And you do what you do. I'm not going to judge your religion because you all show up and do shit, and I appreciate that. But the FLDS is like a cult, and it's crazy, and they're the ones that have polygamy, and child brides, and all the crazy shit.
Yeah. So you get shunned, and you can't go back to your family if you leave, and all that stuff.
No, it's just like a huge mess. And so I have been listening. I'm on like my 5th book.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding you. Like, I got up because there's so many stories, and there's like a few like key people, and then they all had wives and like children wives and sister wives and whatever. And so a lot of them that left have written books. And one was a boy who was like a nephew of Warren Jeffs, who's like the main guy that ran it. Mm-hmm. And so I like literally, I almost know the family tree now, which I'm really excited about in a stupid way.
You seem very proud.
I'm very knowledgeable. Just for
maybe
no one.
On the side we can do a cult cast.
I mean,
well, there's already some that are really good.
There's a lot of people doing great stuff. I listen to all those too, but I just like got on my own personal like independent study of FLDS. I don't know why.
I love it.
I'm all when I go to bed at night. It's just so easy to listen to. Anyway, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just like I get like obsessed about a weird thing. Like I got like that a little bit about like Jim Jones. Like I read a bunch of stuff and watched a bunch of stuff about him, and then I got a little bit weird about Manson.
Elton John right now. I started.
See, that seems healthy.
I watched Rocket Man for like the third time because I love that movie. I don't
and
care
you're reading
what you
his
say.
biography. I mean,
reading his biography, which obviously the movie is based on, and then I'm like watching interviews of him after the movie and like interviews of him. He has an Apple Music radio station.
See, that seems healthy to me.
And he's like cultivating young artists. Like he cultivated like people like Billie Eilish before they were famous. He's like trying to like. He's obsessed with charting music and like where music is and finding new music. And so his obsession is like this show now where he like tries to chat with new artists and get them heard. Because he was a new artist that somebody got heard. You know what I mean?
What a sweetheart.
Right?
Just
and
I mean, like
his life was so hard. You have to watch the movie. It's on Hulu now.
I don't know why I haven't watched it. I need to watch
it. It kind of slipped by. I feel like because we were just busy with life.
I went after the Queen one right away.
Well,
and then I didn't see that one.
I went to New York for work, and I saw it on the plane, and then I was obsessed waiting for it to come out on, rentable or whatever, because I wanted to watch it on a big TV. I wish I would have seen it on the big screen, but now I can watch it over and over again on Hulu, and I can watch my favorite parts several times, which I also like to do about music numbers.
She watches things over and over again.
I love musicals.
But like certain parts, not like the whole thing.
Like Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, I've probably watched every single episode 4 times.
Oh my God, I just watched the best drunk history of that chick, the redhead chick.
Oh, she's in it?
And she's like the host.
Yeah.
Her and the chick from Good Girls, the blonde one, the messed up one.
Oh my God, please.
I want that. Of them, and they're like rolling. She has like an
alien tattoo on her arm.
Yeah, they're literally like rolling on the ground like stupid drunk.
I have to see that.
It's really funny.
Oh, I would love that. Okay,
I was like, I love them.
It's Jane something.
They have names, and I don't know what they are. And it's the chick from Zoe's Playlist and the chick from Good Girls.
If you like musicals, or if you have a heart at all, you will like Zoe's Playlist.
If you have a heart at all. I like resisted it mostly because Trisha kept texting me like musical numbers and like this is so shitty of me because
sorry, but like
they're
Mandy Moore,
good. They're always good.
Mandy Moore, not the singer, but Mandy Moore, the choreographer from So You Think You Can Dance fame, and also before that in Broadway.
Have we talked about this already?
Yes.
Okay.
And she choreographs all of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and it's so amazing.
No, and you can tell by just watching it.
If I was a choreographer, I would choreograph like her. Like that's exactly how my choreography was back in the day. Like it was a lot like hers.
She's a badass. And so I was like, whatever. And then I was like, fine. I just started watching it with my daughter, and then we got really into it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. No, and I knew it would be, but I'm just like sometimes I get weird about like
I know
when something's gonna be good, I don't want to see it.
Well, you and I watched.
Or if it's gonna make me
watched
feel
a trailer for it. I remember on the podcast, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. It looks stupid because it was just like this happy, pretty girl and like playlist, and I was like, bleh.
Yeah.
And we watched a preview for it, and I'm like, that's what it's like. Yeah. I'm in.
And then you showed me like one of the dance numbers, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it. And then thankfully my daughter liked it too, so then it gave us something to do.
If you have a soul, the dance numbers like make your soul weep.
If you have a soul, if you're any kind of person,
kind of like you and Louis May Alcott and Little Women with your daughter. I'm like, if you want to be a bitch about it, you can, but also you could watch this extraordinary work and be happy.
I mean, thankfully, it's that and mermaid shows for me and my kid, and I still have this dream of doing this like Mako Mermaid
one day, dude.
Podcast that's like a fan cast.
It's gonna be Steve the Devil roommate, and there's a mermaid on it.
No.
Yep.
I was just gonna do the straight up fan cast.
All right.
And you were going to have to join me.
A podcast about Mako Mermaids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Who's in?
Mako Mermaids on the bench.
Mako Mermaids is a
weird
bench
mermaids
to get into. It's like these Australian mermaids. All the actresses end up on
guys.
CW shows later in the US.
Hashtag bench mermaids. If you want it, tell us.
She was on the originals. She was on the Vampire Diaries. Oh my God, I love these girls. And then I'm like, they were like 5 years old or like 15 or like maybe probably like 18 or 20. But like, I'm like, they're mermaids. And I'm like, because it's Australian. And I'm just like loving it. And everyone wants to love it.
Oh, Heather from Some Power Pod, which made me think of Australia, but she's from New Zealand, was on the live stream too. And she also said more accents are part of her joy.
Do you want to do one to lead us out to Snack Book? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about your chips?
in a New Zealand accent?
I don't know. I'm one of those people.
Okay,
I'm very observational.
I'll do a New Zealand.
I see chips in front of me.
I'm gonna do a New Zealand accent into snack book. Here we go. I'm from New Zealand. I'm going to have some chips now. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it now because it was horrible. It was fucking horrible. Give me that snack book. It's not on brand if it doesn't suck.
I was just like, there's like these.
I'm sorry, New Zealand. I'm sorry.
Just the whole country.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. At least you can do that. Like, I can't really.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Look, I'm teaching you, and I'm not good at it either.
I cannot copy you, also.
Which is amazing because Trisha can sing and play music, and I can't. But for some reason,
But I can't do it with an accent.
Okay, if music and this are not the same, so good to know.
It's not the same. I mean, I can sing things like on a note, but I'm nothing that is extraordinary about that.
It's not Trisha's extraordinary song. Trisha's extraordinary accent list. This is a new show.
This is hashtag Trisha's extraordinary
accent. So I'm pulling out a secret snack. I brought it the other day, Trisha.
Secret snack
in my purse, and then I forgot to bring it out because we were like just doing a bunch
You're
of
like
stuff.
a weird grandma. Is it with the old tissues?
No, it's yeah, it's some old ketchup packets I took from a McDonald's. Surprise!
It's a cold apple pie from a week ago.
Yeah, no, it's a
score bar.
Yay!
Aww. Score. The chocolate bar. Germany.
Is it from Germany?
I don't know.
Oh, David Hasselhoff, who is not from Germany, by the way, but he's big in Germany.
It's from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It just seems like score. It should be like German.
Scores, like, yeah, there's like Vikings.
This is delicious chilled, which I agree with. I like a chilled score bar.
We found that only like this one liquor store has these. It's really weird. And so the other day my husband went there and he came back and he threw like 5 score bars at me.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, you're the best person in the world. I'm so glad.
Like a deck of cards. He's all boom.
And I was like, I'm going to take one to Trisha. And then I left it in my purse and forgot. But you're lucky I didn't eat it. Because I normally would. But I was like, no, I have to take this for Trisha.
It's okay. I just admitted I ate all the leftover M&Ms from our last snack book. So we're good. We're even.
Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crunching the toffee.
Delicious.
A score bar is a...
Oh, come on. You know what a score bar is.
Yummy piece of toffee covered in chocolate.
It's so good. And there's a Ben & Jerry's ice cream with hunks of score bar in it. Oh, it's so good.
Score bar and Heath bar are not the same.
No.
I'm sorry to tell you, Heath bar. No offense to you. You're a good sub when I can't get score bar, but it's better. I don't know why.
My mom used to make this English toffee for Christmas. It tasted just like a score bar, but if it had like pecans sprinkled on the top, like chopped up, but it tasted like a score bar. I swear, the toffee part, the candy part, I tried to make it year after year, and I kept giving it away as ice cream topping because it would melt and not make a bar. I couldn't like get the candy. There's a temperature thing with candy where you have to have the hard boil stage at a certain point.
That stresses me out.
It's really hard.
That you make candy.
It's really hard to do, the hard boil stage. So I don't make candy anymore because it made me cry.
It used to make you cry. Me and you went through a phase, though, when we were making, like, seasonal candies on sticks. What do you call that?
The molded chocolate.
Yeah.
like
what do you
Easter
call it?
candy, like a sucker with a flower.
When we used to have a blog, we had this whole, like, series of, like,
we made like a
little
chicken. Yeah,
chickens.
chicken. I still have the molds, like a bunny. I've made them a couple times for my kids.
They were actually really
pretty. You melt the chocolates and you put them in the mold with a little lollipop stick, and it's not hard to do. But
if you try and do multicolor, it is.
My mom used to hand paint the molds, let it dry, and then pour in the chocolate. And so her rabbits look like actual like rabbits from like Peter Rabbit.
Yeah, and like the chickens that we made looked like they had Botox because they had like like collagen implants because like very big lips because we couldn't like do like a little.
We couldn't like get our
mouth.
little brushes with we couldn't paint with chocolate, which is like very difficult. And somehow my mom was able to do it. She made the most beautiful Easter baskets. I did not know till I was like 12 years old that she made all the candy. Like that's how
fucking
beautiful
insane.
it was. Like we never had store bought candy.
This
you know
year
what
I
mean?
gave my daughter a bag of Takis in her Easter basket.
It is what it is. No, I bought just a bunch of candy from the store too because it was like during quarantine also, and I wasn't gonna like try and make candy. What?
But we were like in this like fun phase for a minute where we were like, we're gonna make. This is what we're gonna do.
My daughter was like 2.
I don't know why.
You were like, let's make the candy like your mom.
We used
we
to have
bought a mold.
more time on our hands.
Yeah,
I guess.
and then we just wanted to see if we could do it.
It was kind of like a dare.
We did it.
We did it,
and I gave it to her, and she enjoyed it a lot. But
They're
like,
fun.
They were ugly.
Not all of them. The ones that we didn't try to do a ton with were like fine.
Like the center flower brown and the rest yellow. That worked out
perfect. Or
try
like,
to paint a face on it.
Or
no.
like Easter eggs. Those
Yeah,
are hard.
that
That have like a design. Like a squiggly in the middle. Don't do that. I don't know why I'm talking about Easter right now, but
I don't know either.
It was like recent, like a couple months ago, or like last week, because like, I don't know what day it is ever.
So today is brought to you by Score Bar. Thank you, Shauna.
Brought to you by the liquor store that's the only one in the region that sells Score Bar. They don't have it at any of the grocery stores. I know because I've looked.
Wow. You think that would be a grocery store thing? Weird.
Only Heath Bar. And when you want a Score Bar and there's only Heath Bar,
you want a fucking Score
does
Bar.
not work. Like you can't. I don't even
Give me that Score Bar.
So it's weird because I don't go for a lot of candy bars, but this is my one, and the other one is Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
Your Peppermint Patty. I don't know why. I could go like to town on that and this, but like I'm not like peanut butter cups. Like Edgar really likes those, and like
I like those.
I could have like 1 or 2, but I'm not like, oh my god, I could eat like 100.
No, I
could eat
more.
like a bunch of like peppermint patties. Weirdly, like I got
like
a bag of
those
those during Easter because
Yeah.
they're dark chocolate. Is that why I like them? And they're fresh.
My mom also liked peppermint patties, and she liked Score, and like there was dark chocolate M&Ms that came out.
Yeah, I mean, like she knew what was going. It's like if you're gonna do it
right.
Do it all the way. Get what you
want.
want.
Don't fuck around.
Don't eat
or those
like
Ritz sports bars. There was like a marzipan dark chocolate one I used to get her every year at Cost Plus for like her birthday.
Yeah, or Rit.
Something like that.
I know what you're talking about. It's like foreign.
It's square. Everybody's screaming at the. They have all different flavors. They have like cornflake and milk chocolate.
Oh no, they have
like
so
all
many.
These flavors.
They have them at like Trader Joe's.
But
too,
there's
maybe?
they do. But like at Cost Plus, they had every flavor.
They have like hazelnuts or like corn.
There's like a dark chocolate marzipan
one.
That was her favorite.
Love marzipan with some dark chocolate.
You and my mom bonded over that. Like I was like, I got to be a fan of marzipan like in my late 20s. I wasn't when I was a kid. I wasn't.
So we
like
talked
a crazy
about marzipan
coconut.
before because it's not coconut. It's like almond.
No,
paste.
the flavor of it bugged me.
Yeah.
Almond.
Maybe like the texture too. No, because sometimes like texture is like weird for people. Our friend Larissa, that was our roommate in college, her mom would send her these little, because marzipans
They're so cute
because they make little like artistic things out of them. So her mom would send her these little potatoes, and she'd be like, the little potatoes, and she was like really funny about stuff like that.
She loved little tiny things.
So they looked like a little potato, but they were marzipan.
Yep.
And they were just pure marzipan.
My mom liked those too. I got her like a set one year.
God,
it was
they
like
were
all different,
so
like a
good.
little pig and like little animals and stuff. Like they're cute.
They do that with maple candy too, which is like
also delicious.
If you're gonna go all out for like crazy sugar,
just do it.
Get some maple candy
and then jog.
Yeah, and then you'll be like, I'm gonna like go around the block and like maybe stay up all night, and, like paint my living room. Like I don't know, like it's a lot of sugar. It's just like pure
Instead
sugar.
of cocaine, you just do straight marzipan now, like
or straight like maple candy.
Maple
Get
candy.
It in, like,
Sorry,
or like on the East Coast. Anyway, this has been a weird candy talk, but I like it.
Good.
It's a theme. It went well.
So, not to rush us out, but we have another segment we're trying to do for live stream.
I'm going to talk about candy.
Out of here. Shut up about your fucking marzipan.
I'm going to bring up 10 kinds of candy that
I'm going to do my German accent if you don't shut up.
Do it, because Hammer wants it, and she gave money.
Zeigfiffelfein. That was a made-up word.
It's like, I don't even know what you said. I can never even repeat it.
I can't repeat it. That was a one-time only thing. Okay, so we have a wonderful guest today on the show. Her name is Christine Blackburn. She's the host of Story Smash, an amazing comedy show.
The best.
Where I've been on it twice now, where you go and they spin a wheel and you have 1 minute, 3 minutes, and then more minutes to talk about a story. Improv, you do it with comedians. I did it with like real comedians who do stand-up storytelling all the time in front of like super famous people. But
so she did it great, and we talked about this before. Trish did an amazing job, and Christine is just awesome.
She's just
as
a
human
lovely
being.
person.
Like, she's the best.
So she hit me up on email during quarantina and was like, "Hey, can I be on your show?" And I thought we were going to be on her show, and then I reread the email, and I'm like, "Cool." So also, you want to be on our show? Great. Like,
I know.
wow.
She's like famous to us.
Like, thank you, Christine.
So, Christine.
You've heard her on our Halloween episode. She sent in a great story about how she sorted her Halloween candy and mapped out her route.
I know. I feel like I know a little bit about her life. Yeah. She mentioned her brothers and sisters, and I was like, the Halloween candy. Yes. And I'm like, why do I know that about you? It's so funny when you share stories. You like, you
start
feel like
you know someone's history.
You start to piece someone's life together, which is fascinating. She's amazing.
So this next segment is us with her, and be sure to check out our show notes for storyworther.com. And if you're available on Sundays at 6 or 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, the Sunday Story Hour of Power. She actually has past guests on her show from her podcast on live on like Zoom. And you can like buy a ticket, but there's a free version too. And you can hear people tell a 10-minute story who are like, most of them are famous comedians or famous folks that have had on her. She's had, I mean, you guys, I can't even like list the litany of amazing people she's had on her show. And as judges, like
Trish Marsack,
including myself. I'm just saying. No, but she's super fun, and we really bonded with her immediately when we met her. Like there's like an energy between us, which I really love. Like she's just our people.
She's like a storyteller at heart, and I think that's what
an artist.
We are. And also, like everyone that listens to the show probably is a storyteller of some sense,
enjoys
whether you
listening.
write or not. Everyone tells stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of life, and it's like the fundamental, like sitting around the fire telling stories.
Yeah.
Like that's literally like where humanity comes from, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And so it's just she's like the curator and keeper of that, and I feel like that's very sacred. So.
It's amazing, and she has her own amazing stories. So check her out if you haven't already listened to her podcast. I know a few of you have been like, since I was on Story Smash, I've started listening, and I'm so glad because it's a great podcast. I look forward to it every week. So she's got over like, I don't know, 250 episodes or something.
Go
There's
binge
so
that shit,
much
everybody.
to
it's
listen
nice
to.
When you can find something to binge.
Usually a little bit light and funny, and she's just great. So so we're honored to have her on our show. So that's our next segment. And then we did a write club together. We did a write club. Not a write club, a writing prompt with Miss Christine. So you can hear our writing prompt.
Here you go.
And write it, bitch, together. Okay.
Here it is.
Bye. Is it here now?
It's here.
It's here now. Now it's here.
Guests on the bench. Okay, well, we have a guest on the bench today.
Yes, welcome, Christine Blackburn.
Hey, you guys.
It's so good to have you here, and we're so sorry that you haven't been able to have Story Smash live.
I know, me too.
So long. You must be having withdrawals.
Yeah, I am actually. I love that show so much. I really do.
But I saw your Sunday Hour of Power. So
I started another show. Exactly.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay, the Sunday Hour of Power is super fun because really it just comes down to 1 hour of solid entertainment. 5 storytellers. We each tell a 10-minute story, and there's a little bit of time for a Q&A at the end. So it's just 1 hour. It's perfect for television. On the East Coast, it starts at 9 p.m., and here on the West Coast, it starts at 6 p.m. But, of course, you can tune in from anywhere in the world. And it's great. I'm booking 4 storytellers/comedians that have been on my show, the Story Worthy podcast. And so I already know they're great storytellers. And so it's just been super fun. This week is our third one. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks awesome.
Thanks.
We have to go. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'm on your email list, so I get all your notifications.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Storyworthypodcast.com. That will also have all the links and how you can get tickets.
Yeah.
There's always a free option, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So also, I'm sure we're supporting a good group of people and you by, buying a ticket.
You're so sweet.
Yes,
important.
Storytelling is like the most important thing. I mean, except all the other things, but it's really,
Say for the murder hornet, the government, the racism.
Besides the world blowing up right now,
the country on fire. Yeah, no, I mean, and all of our personal problems, and a pandemic. Yes, no, but storytelling. I mean, in the midst of everything, though, I feel like it's so important because it's just. I mean, I work for a nonprofit fundraising. Storytelling is like what I do, like, because it's like if I don't tell a story to inspire somebody to give money, then like they're not going to just be like, here's the money. So
of course,
it's definitely like just and through everything we do. But
yeah
for sure.
No, supporting writers and comedians and creatives, and I think it's just as important as supporting, grocery store clerks and other folks. Like it's
all important.
Needs to be.
Yeah, it really
supported.
is, because if we're not around, somebody's going to miss culture.
Exactly.
Sooner or later, people are going to start missing art.
No, they will. It's the most important, maybe, except for all the other things.
So tell us,
and toilet paper. But
I know, right? So tell us a little bit about how you started out as a writer or a comedian, or which came first. Like what's your. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah. Well, I guess as a writer, I've always written. Even as a kid, I always liked to write. I have old journals of mine, and that was the only thing I even was slightly good at in school, was like English or writing. I was terrible at math. And same through college.
Same.
And then I started traveling quite a bit, and I would always do a journal wherever I went. So I started writing, I think it's really through journaling. And I continue to write really everything. I've never written a fictional character, now that I think of it. That's funny.
It's always a journal of your personal.
I don't even
like a memoir, really.
It's always that. Yeah, it's always that, because it's like. I don't know. I've led a really interesting life, so I don't really need to make anything up. I don't know.
Awesome.
That's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
I want to know, because on your website there was a picture of you on a motorcycle naked.
I was just thinking about
and I want to
that.
know how that happened, please.
Yeah, that's fun
like a
picture.
show, right? That you did?
No, actually, it is. It's the poster of a show, but I didn't do the picture for the show. That just happens to be what I use.
What you do on the side.
No, I mean, that was just something I did. It was just like a stunt. And
a Wednesday for Christine. I mean,
just a little nudity on a bike.
No, I met this guy and we were dating, and we'd only been dating like maybe a month or 2 months, not long at all. And he had a motorcycle, and we used to ride all the time. Every date was about going out on the bike, and we would, ride through the Malibu hills and Topanga Hills, and the canyons. And anyway, I was turning 50, and I just one day out on one of those rides, I was thinking about. Well, I just wanted a picture. I wanted a picture in essence of, I don't know, turning 50 years old. It was monumental, obviously it is.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something kind of crazy. And, so I'm going out with this guy on the bike. We're always on the motorcycle. And at the same time, I had been getting all these flyers from AARP. Like when I was like 47, 48, 49, and they were like sending me like
you're like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, they wanted to give me like tote bags and lunch bags and ice packs, and I was like, I don't know what is going on, but I don't want to be in your club.
Diapers.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And so anyway, so I was thinking about being on the motorcycle, and AARP now starts at the age of 50. And anyway, I just started thinking like, it would be so fun to take a picture on a bike naked. I'd also had in my mind this shot that Richard Branson that guy who owns Virgin Airlines or whatever. He's a really rich guy in England, and he has a lot of whimsical pictures on his they're around. If you ever Google the guy in images, like there's a naked girl hanging on his back water skiing, and there's a naked girl this way or that way, and it's always so ridiculous. Like he's so rich, you can have naked chicks hanging on him,
hanging off of him.
But all the pictures are kind of like but all the pictures are kind of like tasteful. Like you never really see anything, and they're just kind of fun. It's kind of witty in a way.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of thinking of that. So I knew I wanted to take a naked picture, but I also knew that I wasn't going to show anything, as it were.
Right.
So I had a girl that I'd used before to take headshots and stuff, and I really trusted her. And then I hired a wardrobe girl. She didn't have much to do. And then I told him my idea, and my ex and I sort of we scouted the canyon and where we thought it'd be somewhat private or whatever, and the background and stuff. And then one day we went out, and my photographer she set up along the roadway. She had like a big light, like a kind of one of those kind of flashes that go off, not a flash, but like
almost like a reflector,
a light, some sort of lighting flag or something, yeah. And I did have my wardrobe girl / makeup girl who was just kind of helping me. And anyway, we shot for like 5 hours. There were like maybe
oh my God,
maybe 800 photos.
5 hours of naked.
So in the future, we're gonna have a coffee table book just called Naked Christine.
Well, it's kind of fun, and a lot of the pictures are really, really cool. They're really good shots, but. The point is, when I got the picture back, I liked it a lot, and I ended up just on a lark. I sent it to AARP. I sent it to their whatever it was, publicity, I think, or something. And I just wrote, this is 50, kind of like that, like ha ha ha. Yeah, it was really funny. And then they offered. I'm not kidding. They offered to put the picture. They wanted to put the picture on the. Let me just close this window.
The billboard.
I can't do it.
They're all AARP.
They wanted to put the picture on the front of their digital platforms, and the title was going to be the new 50.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
I know, and it was really fun. And they paid me, and they're going to pay me, and they ended up paying me $800, and I was really excited about that. Yeah, $800, and I had paid the photographer $750, and I had paid the other girl $50, so it all kind of washed. Oh no, I paid. Well, whatever. The point is, it all
covered your cost.
Yeah.
And I bought lunch and stuff. So
I love it.
anyway, and I was really excited because it's kind of cool, and that's like the idea of the shot is like that you're older, but you're not like whatever. And so the night before it was supposed to go up, I got an email from an editor, not like the big editor, but they said that AARP decided that it was too risque.
Oh no!
Then we're going to use it.
But they still paid you, and then they never used it.
They paid you.
I know. It was so crazy. And then I got a hold of the Huffington Post, and then they put it on their front page. So that was really great.
Good.
Yeah, so it's fun. It is on the website. It's on ChristineBlackburn.com. That's where it is.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's a long story, sorry.
You remind me right now of, I think it's Molly Shannon.
Yeah,
right?
when she's
Remember?
like, I'm 50, and she kicks, and she's like,
Have you seen that character? She's like, I'm 50.
From SNL? No? Just look on YouTube.
funny.
Yeah.
Go look for that because it's hysterical. And now
It's
that
like
we are
it's like
that,
90s Molly Shannon. So when we were in our 20s, we used to be like, I'm 50, and now we're like, oh, we're almost fucking 50. Like we're almost like I'm gonna kick on my birthday.
I feel like I'm still 30, but I guess I'm not.
So quickly, it's just wild how fast it happens.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't feel it at all. Sometimes I feel it though in terms of like my body and not being able to do what I used to be able to do. But like inside, I know it's so cliche, but it's true. I feel like 28 all the time.
Yeah, always.
I think so too. I mean, my parents are in their 70s, and people never. Every time they tell people how old they are, they're like, really? You're that old? Because they just have like a youthful spirit.
Yeah,
and I think that's really what it is. It's like, you don't give in to that. Like, I'm just going to like chill out and do nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just staying current. And like, I don't know.
I still feel like, okay, so I left home at 18, And when I got to like decorate a dorm room, that was like so cool, like on my own with my roommates or whatever. And I still feel like that now. Like we moved in this house 2 years ago, and it's like, oh, I get to hang pictures up where I want to. And I'm like, what? When will that go away? Like that like idea. Like I remember walking in my mom's room as a kid, and it was just so like the way the matching dresser set and the headboard and everything was matchy, and I'm like not like that at all. I don't even have a headboard. Just have like a mattress, and you know what I mean? I'm just not like that. But like I look around my room sometimes and I'm like, this is so different than what my experience as a kid was. Like with my own parents. I'm so just more, I feel like younger in that I can't decide sometimes like what to put on the wall, or I can't even nail myself down to like what style our furniture is.
Well,
like it's still all mixed up.
There's a few things. Number one, you're a different generation, obviously.
Yeah.
And so you have more choices. But also number two, you're obviously an artist, Trisha.
Yeah.
You're an artist. Is that your bench behind you?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so when we do live casts, we pull the bench forward and.
I love that so much. I've always had a bench in my life. I even have one now out in our courtyard.
I love it.
I always have one because it's like an automatic piece of furniture for at least two people, and it's sturdy.
Yep.
And you could put it outside, you could put it inside, and the idea is that somebody comes and joins you. I love a bench.
Exactly.
And it's a people-watching tool, which is why we're called Two Girls on the Bench. Because whenever we go anywhere and sit on a bench, something weird happens, or we see something.
Always happens. Like
Always.
we're just like something weird usually. And we're like, well, that was an interesting affair. Yeah.
So I realized after my mom passed away, I got a lot of her furniture, and she has what's called a deacon's bench, which is more of like an antique wood with like the polished like painting on the back. I'll send you a picture.
You wouldn't put it outside.
No, it's an inside bench that we always had in our foyer or next to a window. There's pictures of me and my sister
so funny,
from like 3 years old on, sitting on this bench in our Easter dresses all my life. And one day it dawned on me, I've had a fucking bench my entire life. Like, and now I have my mom's bench and my own bench. Like, it's kind of funny.
We've taken this bench into the street.
Yeah, we've done photo shoots in the street with the bench.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's heavy, isn't it? I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, it's an outdoor bench. And I was gonna put it on my patio, but we just finished live stream for the Cure. We just reached today $10,000 for the Cancer Research Institute.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
Going on right now, it's with another podcast called Epic Film Guys. It's the 4th annual. It's our second time doing it as podcasters.
Wow.
And we do like 4 days of live stream on like Twitch. So anyways, so we pull our bench forward, and that's why there's a backdrop right now, because after we're done with you, we're doing shots for the session at 8:00 Eastern when we pass the goal of 12K.
We've started with wine. We'll move on to shots.
That is so great. Where are all your kids right now?
Super fun.
So mine are at my house with my husband. Hopefully. I mean, we never know with my kids. And then, Trish, I don't know where your kids are, but they're not
Yeah,
here.
I don't know where they are either. No, mine.
Your kids are little. I hope you know where they are.
We have my husband has his mom and stepdad in Newbury Park locally, so they're over there hanging out for the afternoon, and it's been kind of like that monogamous thing during COVID where we still have the grandparents right here, so it's been
And us.
nice. Yeah, us
Me.
too. Yeah, so it's been nice to actually be able to be with each other a little bit.
No, that's great to have that, man. You're lucky. That's great.
We didn't for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, at a certain point when everybody had been quarantined for so long, we're like, all right, like, I just need to come
Forget
to your house.
about it.
'Cause, like,
Yeah.
also, I can't record anything on my own, just as a side note. So, like, when I tried to do a Skype thing, I fucked it all up. So,
we have to trust people sooner or later. Especially our close friends.
Yeah.
And if I know you didn't just get back from like the Ozarks on a party boat or something.
Right?
I was just talking about that. That's so funny that you said that. I know. I was like, everyone's getting COVID in that story.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
No, we're trying not to party. I mean, we're just partying here.
I know.
Wine.
Party it now is just me and you and a bottle of wine.
Which is kind of how it's always been. So
maybe some popcorn.
it's not like it was much different before.
So wild.
All I did was come to your house and go home. It's pretty much my life. So, I mean, I had to have a job too. But
How's your daughter managing during this?
Oh, I'm lucky she's 13, and so she's pretty independent. But I feel bad just about her friends and stuff. She had a social distance play date yesterday, They met in front of the high school, like in the field, and
That's what my
I
daughter's
wasn't
doing,
there.
too.
But yeah, so we're trying to do, and of course she's on Zoom all the time and this and that. But you know, it sucks, man. I feel bad
It's
for her.
really hard for them. I feel so
hard.
bad for all the kids that were like graduating from high school and college because it's just like
It's kind of a bummer.
what a bummer. I mean, because those things for me, like I remember them being a big deal and just being able
Grad
to hang out with your
night.
friends and
Yeah.
share that. And I'm like, God,
Ditch
these
day.
poor kids. Yeah, no, I mean these poor kids. It's like they're just like, okay, I guess I'll
Drive
just, like,
through
they're
graduation
like,
now.
woo, you know.
Yeah. They'll be called like the COVID generation or something.
They will. I told.
Yeah, they have their own little. We have a
As-
noisemaker randomly here.
We have a lot of
weird shit here.
noisemakers.
Anyway.
No, as a blossoming fourth grade teacher now from COVID, except not math. Luckily, my husband's super good at math.
Oh,
and
good.
He likes it. He likes fractions and geometry and shit. So I'm like art, English, whatever, but he does the rest. But I have a preschooler and a fourth grader. So I feel I kept telling my 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old, I'm like, look, this is going to be something you talk about and remember for a long time. You're going to be able to say, like, I lived through that. I went through fourth grade on that. I went through fifth grade on that. You know, like, this is going to be cool, actually, one day to say that you were there when this happened. Like, this is history making right now.
Man. Yeah.
Although it sucks.
Yeah.
And she's, you know,
It's
we've
happening.
rearranged every room in the house.
It's
but-
their reality. It is what it is right now.
Yeah, for sure. But well, so we did a writing prompt together.
I like forgot about it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
as a group here, and the 3 minutes writing prompt that we always do for Write It Bitch, and this writing prompt, I'll just tell you what it was, and then we'll all share.
Yeah.
So so the writing prompt is, "You're one of them now," she whispered softly. So that's the writing prompt, and then we all. I don't know. She's just writing me a note.
No, I'm writing myself a note.
Oh.
Oh no.
Usually you just tell me stuff.
Oh no, I
but-
make
okay.
show notes. You've never seen me writing during our podcast? Like I
have,
make show
but
notes the whole
usually
entire
we don't
show.
sit this close together. It's gonna sound weird, but like
She's
usually
like, it's
I
a secret
turn-
message.
I know,
It says story hour of power. I just wanted to make a note for the
I
show
do
notes.
that with my friends at work. Well, now we like chat, but like before we would like write notes to each other during a meeting and like slide it back and forth. And I thought you were doing that, and I
No.
was like, oh, what are you gonna tell me? Shut up, Donna, or stop talking, or your sound is fucked up. I don't know.
That's too funny.
I feel like you would have just told me. Okay, anyway. Christine, as our guest of honor, would
Yay.
you share your 3-minute writing prompt?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm doing it. Here we go.
No pressure.
Oh, yeah. Now, I told you, first of all, I told you I've never written fiction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I still haven't.
That's okay. No, and that's okay because
Love that.
like
She's all. I mean,
she's like I'm consistent to my brand.
no, mine wasn't fiction either. So.
Oh,
All right, here we go.
yeah, me either.
When I was in the Peace Corps, I bought a pair of Teva sandals that were to last me for 2 years to go to the country of Tonga, which is a group of islands in the South Pacific. Cool. And the first night I was there, it began to rain really hard, like rain I'd never seen before. And the island basically just turned into like a mud pit. It was like this beautiful, incredible place, but then all of a sudden these clouds came in and like a torrential downpour, and now it was a mud pit. And I was with my homestay family, which was a mom and a dad and 2 kids, and we were running through the rain to get to their house, which was just one room. And as we were running through the rain, I realized that they were going much faster than me, and I realized that was because they were barefoot.
Oh.
And when I stepped in the mud, my shoes, my Tevas, they sunk in deep. And it took strength to pull my leg up and out of the mud each time. And there'd be like this huge sucking sound. And the next day, I saw my Tevas sitting outside of their house, and they were like filthy dirty. And I realized, you know what? I don't think I'm going to wear shoes, like nobody else here wears shoes. And I wrote to the Peace Corps director one day telling her how I had gone barefoot because it was easier. And she said, "You're one of them now," she whispered softly.
That's so
That's so
good. I love
good.
that.
All
Sorry.
Also, Peace Corps.
Are you done? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I am done, but the thing is, it was just supposed to say, "You're one of them now." She whispered softly. I wasn't supposed to say. She said, but yeah, okay.
I love it.
No, that was. Oh my god, it was perfect.
I feel like I was there with you, like in my brain. No, that was amazing.
I know, and I was wearing like.
How long were you in the Peace
Birkenstocks.
Corps?
They were also stuck in the mud.
Yeah,
no,
I have your old Birkenstocks.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, my story is so long and involved, but in a nutshell, I should have been in the Peace Corps for 27 months. That's how long everybody goes. But after just 3 months, I got sick. I got really sick, and it turns out I had cancer. It's not funny, but that's what happened.
Right.
And so I had to leave and came home. It's a long story, but at the end of the day, I couldn't go back to the Peace Corps because I needed CAT scans for years.
Right.
And that kind of pushed me to move from my hometown of Pittsburgh to Los Angeles. So it's been on June 18th, that's coming up. It'll be, 23 years cancer-free.
Amazing.
Good job.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You have to join us.
Job,
you got to join us on the live stream for the cure next year.
Yeah,
I know. I'd love to.
Oh my gosh! Because the goal was like the first year they did it, the goal was like 4,000 to 5,000. Last year was like let's double it, or the year before 8,000, and then
10.
Then we did 10 just now, and so
And
these guys,
and they're exceeding it.
everybody has the story.
Yeah,
my dad had cancer. I mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'd love
We've
to.
got all 6 degrees
touches a
of
lot
separation to cancer. Like
Right. I'll do it in a
now, it's
minute.
going to be COVID too, but. It's so everybody has something, and Paul Chomo from the Varmints podcast ate like huge water bugs to raise money. It's gross. He does his whole podcast is about animals and bugs.
That one.
No, but it was hilarious.
Won't make you eat water.
Thank you,
though.
Shauna.
No, but everybody did something. Like last night, there were some folks karaokeing that probably shouldn't have been. Like it's just we had puppets in our bit.
We made some
Oh
food.
yeah,
'cause
we made a
always do
live snack.
snacks. Yeah, we made
no,
it
you gotta
fun.
join us. Yeah, well, I'm gonna hook you up with the info next year, same time, same bat
I'd
channel.
love to do it. I'd
Yeah,
love to.
no, you got to be there with us
But
because
that's what an amazing story
that's
that
it's
is.
incredible. I feel like
Like-
not reading my fake story now.
Well, do you want to? Okay, so should we
You
couch
go ahead.
Because mine is like just me
Just do it.
ranting about.
Oh,
Rant.
I want to
Do
hear
it.
it.
Yeah,
I'm a
she's like, it's
ranter.
not fair if we don't read ours. So
All right. So,
I mean, that's how I would feel.
so I'm at, yeah, no, we always read them. And we're not supposed to give disclaimers, but I just did. So look at me.
We're
an
the
asshole.
worst.
Okay. So you're one of them now, she whispered softly. It was the voice in my head as I stared at my gray hair running rampant, yoga pants, and no makeup. Yep, you're that quarantine person. And mom, who says things to her daughter while watching the news. Do you want me to tell you what's going on, or do you want to remain ignorant? Daughter replied, I'm good. And I became the insane mumbling feminist walking around saying, fine, my educated woman's heart is dying, but fine, whatever. I'm that chick one of my activist friends warned me long ago. This is what he said to me. Shauna, one day, your daughter will come to you, and she will say, I'm getting a job at Hooters, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
That's so your life.
It.
Last week on our podcast, she called her daughter. What did you say about not wanting to watch Little Women?
Yeah,
Or-
I was like, look at Louisa May Alcott. She wrote Little Women. It's really important because we're watching the movie. We weren't even reading it. And I like that you're getting a beer right now. She's all, let's get down to this. And I said to my, this is on our podcast like last week or the week before,
last
but
week,
I was just like, well, she's the one that made it so people like you could just be a bitch and not do anything. I don't know what I said. I'm like horrible. My daughter's
Girl, you
13.
don't understand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's 13 and she is a feisty 13, let's just say. And like, she's actually a really good person. But like, she gets in these things where she's like, I don't care. And I'm just like, well, you should care. And then I get.
She's like,
and
you
then-
should realize what the women before you have gone through, so you can be ignorant and
then
be
she's
a little
like,
bitch.
blah, 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 blah. She's like playing it because you're like.
I want a T-shirt that says that. Like,
Yeah, I hear that, man.
So anyway, I am that crazy feminist mumbling, talking to myself with my gray hair and my yoga pants. So anyway.
Nice. Oh, we have that one.
You have a kazoo.
I do.
Well,
but
we
I'm
gave
having
her
a hard
one.
time.
But we have that one too. We have that gold and red one. That's funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that you
Nice.
have that.
The
Yes.
same exact
And
kazoo.
many instruments.
Yes.
I just used that one. You might not want to. I don't
Stop
have
spreading
COVID,
your
but I'm
kazoo
gross.
germs with
Okay.
But that's also very typical
Right.
behavior. And one time I heard that teenagers become so bratty because that if they didn't, you'd like never let them go. Like if they were always the way they were at
that
3,
right?
4, and 5,
good
you would
point.
literally not be able to let them go. But they start, they start separating from you, and that is supposed to be the goal of the parent to make
Little
them
conflict.
independent. And as they pull away, you become like, this is going to be easier than I thought because they're a little bitch, And so, but I think it's naturally the way it goes. And then after, and I know, I'm only saying because I have like 4 older sisters and an older brother, so there were a lot of people in my house. And like I remember specifically, I didn't talk to anybody from 14 to 18. You know?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't
I
talk
just
to
was in my
anybody in my
room.
family.
Like
yeah.
I don't remember. Like
So I think in some ways it's like actually that it shows that they're, ready to separate and become independent, and they're having their own feelings. And oh, look at that, they're actually like a person.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's kind of par for the course.
That's good. Thank you.
I'm not there yet with my 9-year-old.
You don't believe a word I say.
Well, the weird thing is, I have an adoptive family, so I just got my kids like 6 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, we're ready to go. That sounds terrible.
So Shauna dove into the teenager like a little fast.
hit-
We had like more. I had like 4 extra years to dive into
cuteness.
being a teenager, and she had to dive in like earlier than the rest of us.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's rough.
I hit the teenage hard early, and I actually, my kids are great. I love them.
Yeah.
And I hugged both of them before I came here, and my son lets me hug him, which is awesome because he's 15, and that's not always a thing. So but it's just one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm good. But I don't want her to be, but if she gets a job, maybe I don't care where it is.
If it's at Hooters or
yeah.
whatever. I mean, at least she's got a sense of responsibility.
If she's working, who gives a fuck? Okay, anyway, you do your story. Sorry, because I will talk about my life for 8 hours. Okay.
I couldn't go real because I will just start crying. So I went somewhere else, and this will just show you how much I like something. Okay. The door whooshed open. I lay naked on a metal table. At least I think it was metal because it was cold as hell. Goosebumps for days. Shadowy people hovered over me, whispering. I felt my body getting lifted and moved, almost like I was floating, like a massage without the scented candles. Hands moved over me. I saw people with buckets, then measuring tapes. Someone put a bra on me. As she got closer, I whispered, Heidi? Heidi Klum? Yes, she answered, as someone tugged at my hair and fabric poured over my body. Suddenly I was upright. Lights came on and music started. You're one of them now, she whispered. And as I strutted down the runway, a single tear ran down Tim Gunn's face, a tear of pride at the fashionista I'd become.
Wow, that was really good.
Love it.
I love Project Runway a lot.
You win.
Oh, that was just great, really. That was fun.
you.
That was good.
I'm like, what would I
Love
turn
it.
into? And I was like, aliens. And then I'm like, no, I would turn into like a model. And I get to wear all the fabulous clothes. Like,
I thought it was going to a more medical place.
Yeah,
Yes.
At first I was like,
I wanted
cold
you to
metal
think
table.
that.
Me too.
I don't know what that is.
I
It's a
wanted to be
fastener.
like,
I'm just kidding.
like almost like an alien thing. And then I was like, but how funny would it be if it was like I got turned into a model? And there were buckets because they had to obviously cut off a lot of me.
Oh, too funny.
But I love clothes and I love sewing and I love fashion and I love watching Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn be whatever they are. And
Yeah.
it takes me out of all of the world that's going on right now. Like, I like
I
it.
once ran his credit card at an event.
I know.
I'm so famous right
You
now.
are.
Just
Wow,
kidding.
interesting.
That's a big deal.
You're so fancy.
Anyway,
And,
yeah, no, I Trisha sews, and she's been making masks.
It's amazing.
She's a sweetheart,
yeah.
and they're
That's
like
great.
really pretty. They're like solar, not solar.
It's like space
the solar
fabric.
system,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
My
I had-
latest one had Saturn on it.
I
was
had
like,
a huge thing of space fabric from this like dress we were gonna make 3 years
Neat.
ago. I never made it. I procrastinated, and
Yeah.
then we needed masks, and I pulled it out, and I'm like, I have a ton of cotton and a ton of flannel.
So
Yeah.
fun.
Trisha,
So-
was it really Saturn? Because Shauna could have been looking at Pluto
I mean,
or Jupiter. We don't
I
know.
think it was.
There were rings.
Yeah,
Okay,
there were
I'm
some
just
rings
making
on it.
sure.
No, it was
Now-
actually the solar system.
I have seen a lot of handmade masks. I've seen a lot of masks in general, but some of them, like I saw these ones Alyssa Milano's mom was making. She was talking about it on Twitter. They were so cute, and then people got into a fight. Like, but there's, you could see through them. They're not protecting. And then she wrote back, no, there's a filter in every one.
Yeah.
And that's but that's just because that's a knit one. Now yours are just out of like a bandana material, or what is it?
Yeah, like a
fabric.
quilting fabric, like
Yeah.
a cotton fabric, and
that's
like what
okay, right?
like what your like cotton curtains would be made out of, or a
Yeah.
cotton. I can only think of like a bed skirt
Well,
for
because they're
some
telling,
reason.
they're telling people
Like
to use
like
a
what your
bandana.
sheets
Yeah.
are made out of.
So yeah,
But then to make them more protective, I put a layer of flannel fabric in between. So I had the
Wow.
flannel like from
she
baby
knows how
blanket
to
stuff
sew,
that I
like,
made.
A
for real.
flannel
So-
is like almost fibrous and can
yeah,
really
like what
act like
you're-
a filter.
Yes. So like what you wear for a flannel shirt, right? So
Yeah.
it's cotton, flannel, and then cotton. And then you can just machine wash them.
Yeah.
Because they're just elastic and they're so simple. I'm really good
Yeah.
at sewing rectangles, so
That's
that worked
so
out
cool.
for me.
No, that's great. You can also it's nice to wash. I have a couple that I kind of like, and I don't have like an easy washer dryer, so I wash them out in the sink, and it's easy because they're so small.
dry.
And
Yeah,
it's
they
like
hang dry.
It's like boom, and it's done. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice to
they're
do too,
easy.
to make them clean like right away.
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Well, this has been Mask Talk, and
I know. Quarantine chat on the bench
I always
with
tell everybody
Christine
though,
Blackburn.
because Trisha's got this beautiful like Midwestern background where she like will like bake you a pie or like a cake or
Usually
like
cup muffins.
when shit was like going down for me, like suddenly like gluten-free banana chocolate chip muffins were on my doorstep,
That's so
and then me and my daughter
sweet.
like wrestled them out of each other, and like. She's just like that person, you know what I mean? Like, it's really sweet. Even on her Story Smash, I think she told a story about her mom. And, like, they're just
Yeah.
like, her mom is amazing. We all love the heck out of her. And, like,
Aw.
she's just a sweetheart. And so, anyway, I don't
That's
know why
nice.
I needed to say that, but I just did. Because
That's
Trisha's been
nice,
through a lot of
no.
shit recently. And I'm like, you're nice.
Thank you.
I'm becoming more jaded as the days go on. So we'll just see where I end up. But you're nice. I'm just going to hang on to you with your banana muffins. Thank you.
You are lucky though to have like kind of quarantine friends, as it were. I have a few people
Yeah.
that come in. My boyfriend comes over on the weekends and stuff, but like, and my daughter has had these play dates in the yard, but we haven't had like play dates in the house.
Yeah.
That being said, they come to play in the yard, then they run upstairs to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and you're
So
like,
it's like-
So it's
you're
all
already
a
in my
little-
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just have to kind of like sooner or later trust some people at a little at a
A
time.
little at a
and-
time. Not a huge party, not
Yeah,
a
and if
Ozark
they have them
situation.
into a bar, if they have them into they have them,
Yeah.
to China recently or whatever, and,
Or Florida.
or really
Yeah.
anywhere. Maybe they were in Italy or Greece, or I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sooner or
Yeah.
later, we have to at least trust like our people,
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Our chosen family.
Yeah.
Now they are
sure.
opening
No,
up.
it's a big thing.
They're opening up comedy clubs next weekend in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
So you're flying
Yeah.
out
Do
there.
you think that
Tempe,
you'll-
Phoenix.
Do you think, when do you, I mean,
I'm gonna fly
good
back. I'm gonna
question.
fly down to Tempe, put on a show.
Do it.
I feel like I'm just showing up and I'm not even tell anybody.
Yeah,
like,
I'm doing
hey,
like I'm doing
story
the
time.
whole
Don't you
ring,
know
yeah.
who I am? I have a wheel.
That's right. That's right. I got a wheel in my trunk and I'm ready to roll. I'm gonna hit Phoenix and Scottsdale. I'll swing up to Kingston. You don't know.
Hit
Yeah.
Tucson. There you go.
Oh my God, your show is so fun. Like, we loved it. I mean, Trisha did a trial run, or not a trial run, but it felt like a trial run at the Outlier Festival and told some really funny stories. You're
They're
very,
wonderful.
she's a good, like, on the go, like,
Contestant.
person to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
It was
you
fun.
can improv.
I failed a little bit on my second story. I feel like after I was on your show, all I could do was retell my story better
Yeah.
in my head over and over
Better,
and over
faster,
again. I'm
or
like,
longer.
why didn't I start with my mom died 5 years ago? I would have had sympathy automatically, and then I could have like done this and then this, and like And then I couldn't re-listen to it on your podcast for like a month, and then I finally listened to it.
And
I
then
was
you
so
did,
nervous.
right?
Yeah,
Oh, gosh,
but
you're
I was
so
it
funny.
just made me so nervous to listen to myself because it's. I mean, I did improv in college, but like it's
She was hilarious too. I mean, like she would like bring a guitar out and like make songs.
The Trisha.
No, I don't know.
After a while in life, like why not? After a while, it's like we have to just let go and do what we want to do.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity, Christine. Like that was a really huge highlight.
You were so adorable. You were. That was a packed night, as I recall.
That was awesome.
It was. Yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome.
It was fun, and we were glad to go somewhere. I mean, I think my son had a party while I was gone and like destroyed my house, but hey, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Did he really? Did he really? How many people did he have over?
It wasn't that many, but it was destructive enough. Anyway,
he didn't even try to clean it up, or what?
No,
they surprised him when they came home.
Yeah, it was a big like, oh, look what you did with your. Yeah. Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah, but it was like, but we had so much fun that it didn't matter because I was like, I'm glad because we're like, moms and you don't always go places, you don't do a lot of, I mean, just like, in the evening.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like we used to when we were young.
Yeah.
And so it was so fun to go out and like
it's
be a
adorable.
normal person.
I can see that. No, I can see that.
So
well,
it was fun.
Let's end with you telling folks where they can find you and follow you and listen to you.
It is funny how people get, there's so much social media now, and like people like just spew out all this stuff, and it's like I don't know if anybody's listening or remembers. So I just say storyworthypodcast.com. Because if you just say one thing, then from there, if they really want to dig in,
they can link to everything else.
Yeah, because I have like 4 websites now, and sometimes I don't think that's smart, but other times I think like,
well, you're separating the things.
Yeah, I have 3 actually. 3.
Yeah,
I don't know how to avoid that, and so I just have it that way. But I don't want to tell people more than that because it's too confusing.
Absolutely.
But if you can link from one to the other.
Yeah, they're all linked.
Yeah, so
and you
then
can always
you go.
jump on Twitter and Instagram from there. And Christine's super active on both. And I highly recommend checking out her podcast, which is
so fun.
I mean, we've had a couple of folks that listen to us that started paying attention after Outlier, after we spoke about you, and send us comments that how much they loved your podcast and how they're listening now on Twitter and how, like writers, a lot of writers that we work with in our Write Club, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so fun to listen to these,
Thanks.
on the spot stories.
I have to keep it as real as I can, and just like, I don't know, I'm very naturally curious. So for me, I'm just excited to talk with somebody and like, figure it all out. It's fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's perfect.
It's so
we love
great.
it. So keep it up. And hopefully we'll catch you on a Sunday story hour of power.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Coming up
That'd be
here.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the details again are at storyworthypodcast.com. So there you go.
There you go. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Christine.
Thanks, Shauna. I love you guys.
We love you too.
Really
thanks for
fun.
writing with us. That
You
was
guys
amazing.
are awesome.
Oh my God. Now I just want to run around barefoot.
I just want to ride a motorcycle naked right now. Like I have a new goal. 50 is only like 3 years away, so
Well, why don't you start your ukulele band, and then some night you can play on the Storyworthy Hour of Power. You guys can join in.
Or like maybe kazoos. Oops,
Yeah. We got kazoos.
A kazoo and a ukulele. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
It sounds like comedy in the making.
And that's why we like you.
That's right. I'm going to send you the thing right now.
Awesome.
All right.
I love
Thank you, Christine.
Bye.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Bye.
Yay.
This has been a transmission of the Podfix Network. For more about this show and other great Podfix programs, go to podfixnetwork.com.